So my friend Peterson was passing through LA on an extended flight layover. So I took him out to dinner for a couple of hours at this really nice vegan restaurant. And I liked the place so much that I was craving vegetarian food for an entire week afterwards. I loved it. So now I like to call myself a wannabe vegetarian. I say wannabe because I'm not really a vegetarian. I just like to call myself that. It's not like I subscribe to the same philosophical, ethical, health reasons that many vegetarians have for excluding meat from their diet. I just like veggie organic food sometimes. But then again, I also am starting to like sushi. But just like I called myself a vegetarian for the wrong reasons, I excluded myself from Christian friends for the wrong reasons. My name is Eric Leocadio, and I survived my own isolation and the church's exclusion for being gay. I'm gay, and I'm Christian. I tried to kill myself, but I lived. I tried to kill the gay self through ex-gay programs, and I'm still gay. After the ex-gay program, I found it difficult to connect with my Christian friends. I isolated and I detached myself from community. See, after the ex-gay program at Living Waters, we were instructed not to communicate with any of the other participants. We went through a 6-month process of building trust with one another, developing a kind of intimacy with each other to where we could share really vulnerable things about ourselves with each other. And we prayed for each other and we cared for each other. And then after the program, they told us we couldn't talk to each other, as if they didn't trust us to use the very tools that they were giving us. And so after leaving the program, there wasn't any of that support. So the only thing left was to try to re-engage with some of my Christian friends, but it was weird because I was already in a place of being open and honest and vulnerable and being able to trust people, being able to trust certain people, where now I couldn't connect with my Christian friends because I didn't necessarily trust how they were going to react. They weren't part of the program. They weren't part of that process of being able to accept one another as we are. So I found it very difficult to connect after the ex-gay program because I couldn't feel like I could relate with anybody else. So I went back to what was comfortable, the familiar closet. I isolated again because I felt ashamed, because I continued to compare myself with my Christian friends, and I felt like a second-class Christian because I had to go through some kind of a program to fix my gayness. And I felt less. So here I am in my closet, my familiar closet, and it's built around a fear of rejection, a fear of abandonment. I was so afraid that if my Christian friends knew that I was gay, or struggling with being gay, I was so afraid that they would abandon me. Eventually I discovered that was true in some ways. But as I began to share my story with people, my Christian friends, I found a conditional element in our friendship revealed itself. I discovered that some of my friends were okay if I was struggling, but if I shared my story in the context of me being okay with being gay, that I was going to live with this for the rest of my life, they weren't necessarily comfortable with that. And I saw them start to exclude me from fellowship. It's very subtle, it's very politically incorrect to say, no, you can't be around because you're gay or you struggle with it or whatever. It's very subtle. And I don't think many of my friends realized it. I went from a place of isolating myself, and then it evolved to my church friends, my Christian friends, excluding me. And I had to come to terms with that. I think that the church is still unprepared for people like me in their congregations who either struggle with same-sex attractions or identify as gay. And just like that wannabe vegetarian who claims vegetarianism for the wrong reasons, the church also excludes gay Christians for the wrong reasons. See, people like me have this fear of rejection. But the church validates those fears when they actually do reject us. I started to realize that that was wrong. And I also started to realize that God was preparing me for a new kind of community. My name is Eric Leocadio, and my website is twoworldcollision.blogspot.com.